In the headlines, Abba Kyari remanded in NDLEA custody as judge postpones bail hearing. 5 die evacuating sand in Kano. Governor Bello swears in 36 APC state chairmen amid Buni sack rumors. And on the foreign scene, Kyiv, Moscow hold third rounds of talks. Hello and welcome to Trust News Update. I'm Darshan Hussaina Usman. Now the news in detail. Suspended Deputy Commissioner of Police DCP Abba Kyari appears before Federal High Court Abuja on Monday to answer to drug trafficking charges leveled against him by National Drug Law Enforcement Agency. Trust TV's Madia Umar reports that Kyari, through his lawyer Kanu Agabi SAN, prayed the court not to remand him to prison custody, preferring instead to remain in the custody of the NDLEA pending the hearing and determination of his fresh application for bail on the 14th of March.
The suspended Deputy Commissioner of Police Abba Kyari arraigned before the Federal High Court in Abuja alongside 6 orders on 8-count charges bordering on conspiracy, obstruction and dealing in cocaine and other related offences. Abba Kyari and 4 officers pleaded not guilty to the charges. 2 civilians, Umwebe and Ezenwane, pleaded guilty to the charges. Pleas of the suspects were taken, but Kyari praised the court to be allowed to stay in the NDLEA custody till the next adjourned date. His counsel, a senior advocate of Nigeria, speaks on the day's proceedings.
At this stage, the trial have at the preliminary stage of the trial, and the concern of the legal team, is the freedom of our clients. So we've put in application for bail and hope to argue it in the next adjourned date. And they pleading guilty or not guilty, that is left for them and their defense counsel. Well, that is for those who pleaded. My clients did not plead guilty. And as such, all I'm after now is securing the freedom of them via application for bail.
This is the Federal High Court in the Federal Capital Territory, where the former Deputy Commissioner of Police Abba Kyari was arraigned before Justice Emeka Nwite along 6 others, and they are being accused of 8 counts of drug trafficking offences. In the courtroom where the charges was read to them, Abba Kyari and the other officers denied allegations, but 2 defendants, Umebe and Ezenwane, pleaded guilty to the allegations. Therefore, there have been an adjournment, and that will be for the bail application of Abba Kyari happening on the 14th of March 2022. But on the 28th of March, there will be a review of all of these cases now that 2 defendants have pleaded guilty to the charges. Madia Umar, Trust TV News, Abuja.
A federal high court in Abuja has restrained President Muhammadu Buhari, the Attorney General of Federation, the Independent National Electoral Commission, the Senate President, Speaker, and others from refusing to implement the newly passed Electoral Act as it is. Justice Inyang Eko, in a ruling on Monday, also restrained the Senate President, Speaker, INEC, and 7 others from acceding to Buhari's request that the National Assembly reworks the new Electoral Act by deleting Section 84, subsection 12 of the new law. The ruling follows an ex parte motion for interim injunctions filed by the People's Democratic Party. The judge said the interim orders are to subsist pending the termination of the plaintiff's motion on notice for interlocutory injunction. Leadership crisis rocking the ruling All Progressives Congress takes a dramatic turn Monday with emergence of a new acting chairman of the party, Niger State Governor Abubakar Sani Bello. Trust TV's Shafiu Suleiman reports that the new chairman of the Central Extraordinary Convention Planning Committee presides over the swearing-in of 36 states elected chairmen of the party, with a charge on them to unite the party and ensure its victory at the forthcoming elections.
He hits the ground running with the inauguration of the state party chairman as he declares,
"The work has just begun. I pray and I hope that by the time you get back to your respective states, you will unite the party in your various states. Please, let bygones be bygones. You have to bring everyone together, those that were for you and against you. What we want is a unified APC in your various states, because we have elections around the corner, and we hope and we pray, and by God's grace, I believe God will answer our prayers. We expect a better result in 2023 than in 2019.
As they take oath of office, the inaugurated chairman expressed determination to deliver on their mandates.
We want to ensure that all hands are on deck. This is not the end of the show. We have to get everybody together to ensure that victory is ascertained in the coming elections.
They have already allocated discipline in our mind to take everybody together to carry this party to the next level. By God willing, inshallah.
With less than 3 weeks to the party's national convention slated for March 26 and recently released election timeline by INEC, they have a growing concern over the snail speed at which the Memalabuni leadership handled the affairs of the party. Earlier, a statement signed by the National Secretary of the APC Caretaker Extraordinary Convention Planning Committee, John Apanodode, debunked the claims of what he called imaginary leadership change in the party, describing it as fake news that should be disregarded.
In a dramatic twist, the governor of Niger State, Abubakar Sani Bello, appeared at the party national secretariat, to assume leadership of the Convention Extraordinary Planning Committee with a message of hope that the work has just begun. Immediately he hit the ground running but with the inauguration of the state chairman of the party with a charge to them to take the party to the greater heights and of course treat every member of the party with fairness and equity as the party look forward to 2023 elections, which he said it is expecting a better result. From the party secretariat here in Abuja, Shafiu Suleiman, Trust TV News.
At least 5 persons have been confirmed dead after being trapped under a heap of sand at Yenlami village in Bichi local government area of Kano State. A statement by the Public Relations Officer of the State Fire Service, Samina Abdullahi, who confirmed the incident, said it happened on Saturday morning. He said the service received a distress call from Bichi Fire Station that 5 people were trapped while working in a puddle trench to get sand with the intention to help their friend who is about to marry to build a house. Abdullahi said the recovered bodies were handed over to the police and the village head of Yenlami for necessary action. Nigerian Army says troops of Operation Hatlin Kai has eliminated 17 Boko Haram and Islamic State of West African Province terrorists in Damasak, Mobar local government area of Borno State. The theater commander, Operation Hatlin Kai Northeast Joint Task Force, Major General Christopher Musa, stated this on Monday in an interview with the news agency of Nigeria in Maiduguri. The commander said that the troops engaged a large number of insurgents when they attacked a forward operational base located along Welada exit gate in the town and met with serious resistance and superior firepower of the gallant troops who engaged them in a heavy gun battle. Meanwhile, the commander said that the unrelenting troops arrested 3 insurgents alive and also recovered motorcycles and other assorted weapons from the encounter on Sunday. Federal government is to commence the evacuation of students stuck in Sumy, Ukraine on Monday. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Geoffrey Onyeama, stated this in a tweet on Sunday. Onyeama said the announcement follows the Foreign Minister of Ukraine, Shina Alege's approval to establish a humanitarian corridor and authorize evacuation of Nigerian students from Sumy. However, Onyeama noted that a major challenge to the evacuation is how to transport the students out of Sumy. The announcement is coming hours after reports of the horrific situation that over 300 Nigerian students in Sumy are facing. Over 300 Nigerian students are said to be stuck in the northeastern city, where they have been largely cut off from the rest of the country owing to the shellings by Russia, which had left part of the city without electricity and water. In the same vein, as the Russian-Ukraine crisis enters its 10th day, Nigerians are still being evacuated from Ukraine. Eddie Dombraye is the head coach Lobby Stars, whose family is stranded at the Ukrainian border waiting for evacuation. In an exclusive interview with Trust TV in Bauchi State, he expresses hope to be reunited with his family soon, and Adamu Imam Trust TV completes the story.
Russian military continue invading Ukraine as war continues, and many civilians killed while more than millions fled to southern border for possible evacuation by either government from other countries or humanitarian agencies of the world. Eddie Dombraye says he can't wait to see his wife with his 5-year-old child.
Well, I feel really bad, really bad inside. Not just because my families are trapped over there, but because war is not good. We all need peace. We need love and harmony. So you see people dying every day, and especially my family, they're trapped. My wife and a 5-year-old kid, trying to get them out. So it's really taking a toll on me. Thank God they are on the way in the train to border town, Lviv. So if they get there safely, my only worry is that they get there safely.
As the war escalates to other cities across Ukraine, countries of the world are in support of heavy sanctions to Russia. While again, Dombraye says it's a terrible situation as he commended Nigerian government despite the challenges at hand.
I must thank the federal government for taking a bold step. Making that first evacuation really speaks a lot, and I say I really appreciate them.
Russia's invasion on Ukraine is reaching 11th day with several cities under siege as humanitarian assistance continue in different Ukraine border. Adam Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
You're watching Trust TV News Update. Coming up after the break, story of a couple with false medical report. Do stay. Welcome back. You're still watching Trust TV News Update. Let's take a look at some of our top stories. You heard that suspended Deputy Commissioner of Police Abba Kyari, who is facing a drug trafficking charge on Monday, begged the Federal High Court sitting in Abuja not to remand him in prison custody. You also heard that at least 5 persons have been confirmed dead after they were trapped under a heap of sand at Yenlami village in Buchi local government area of Kano State. Moving on to health, Nigeria has recorded 17 COVID-19 cases across 4 states and the Federal Capital Territory. The Nigeria Center for Disease Control stated this in its Sunday 6th March update. NCDC data showed 28 persons were discharged after they recovered from the infection, with no death, leaving the total number of fatalities at 3,142. In total, 254,657 cases have been confirmed, with 249,199 recoveries. Similarly, Nigeria Center for Disease Control's latest epidemiological report shows that Lassa fever killed 98 Nigerians in 15 states in the last 2 months. The report says since the beginning of the year, L40 confirmed cases of Lassa fever were reported from 21 states and 79 local government areas, while 559 persons are currently undergoing treatment at treatment centers across the country, with 38 healthcare workers being affected so far. Meanwhile, a total of 90 confirmed new infections were reported in 1 week between February 21st to 27th, 2022. Also, in the said week, 12 deaths were recorded in 6 states: Ondo 3, Edo 3, Bauchi 1, Benue 1, Ebonyi 2, and Kogi 2. Still talking health, sickle cell anemia and disease often affected a child when one or both parents pass the defective form of the gene to a child, which leads to the sickle cell trait. A false genotype test result has rendered one of the children of the mother of 2 a sickle cell disease carrier. Bero Barbara Dachi narrates her shock when she found out about her son's condition after she was convinced about safety to marry her spouse. Trust TV's Aisha Salihu visits the troubled family and brings us this report.
7-year-old Nampern, a carrier of the sickle cell disease, is a result of a failed genotype test report issued to his parents.
You have to run some tests before you get married. And so we did a genotype test. We did the test before we went to church to tell them about our intentions. We did the test, and then as I am AS, my husband was AE. So when we went to church, they said they need their own copy. So we need to do another one between the period. So we had to go to the hospital, but our mistake, I think, was that we went to the same facility to do the test. So my husband's genotype still read AA, and mine was AS. And then we got married. We got a false report. So when we gave birth to him, he was okay, he was all chubby, he eats and everything. But then all of a sudden, he stopped, he weaned himself at 10 months. He stopped sucking, and then he stopped eating. So for like a week or so, we kept trying to give him milk, to give cereal to, but he wouldn't take.
Bero Barbara Dapchi, mother of Nampern, still in disbelief, decides to verify her son's condition.
My mom suggested we do a genotype test for him, and I was like, it doesn't change, genotype doesn't change. His father is E and AS. There's no how he has his SS. When I met the pediatrician, somebody referred me to the hospital. We went. He's a very good pediatrician. He examined him, and then he did all the tests. I didn't even tell him to do the test. He did every test, and then he told me that he has sickle cell anemia. We couldn't understand, you get. So we had to go and do another test for the dad, because mine has been consistent since when I was a child. I think I know my genotype, so we did, and then we realized we got a false result from the facility we went to.
She goes further to narrate how devastated the family has been.
It hasn't been easy, but then our encouragement is that we have to do this for him. It's a different story if we're known and we still went ahead to do it. This is different for us. So we try to be there each time for him, and then we don't really make him feel, we don't have pity on him. We treat him like every other child.
Barbara noted that her son's physical development has been greatly affected.
He still looks small. He doesn't look 7. He looks 4 or 5. So his younger brother is 5, but they could pass for twins. So most times in school, his classmates will call him Smally, or how come you're in our class? You should be in nursery 2. We get all sorts of. So and then there was one time he was worried about it, and he came back home and said, "Mommy, this person is calling me Smally and I don't like it." And I said, "Tell her that you don't like it. And then each time she calls you Smally, tell her you're small but mighty." You know, I try to make him loosen up a bit. Recently, he has been in and out of the hospital quite often. And then we're trying to know what and why, what's been causing it. One of such things is mosquitoes, malaria. They don't like mosquitoes. So once they have malaria, it triggers the crisis.
The mother of two complained about the state of health facilities in the country, as it leaves a lasting effect on her family.
Health facilities they're beautiful from the outside, but not so good from the inside. A few of them are actually very good if you're able to identify them, but some, no matter how beautiful and how they place them in society, believe me, apart from the fact that there are no certain equipment or drugs, it's devastating, right? He was recently on admission, and then he was in pain for about 2 to 3 days, and I knew that he was out of the hospital not up to a month, and then this recent admission. So when I started seeing the symptoms, I was broken.
She says the financial burden of catering for her young son is challenging, while calling on the appropriate authorities to help save her son. Aisha Salihu, Trust TV News, Abuja.
In business, price of crude oil on Monday hit $130 a barrel, the highest since July 2008, after the United States and European allies considered banning the importation of Russian oil in protest against Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Reports say Brent crude futures jumped $12.61 or 10.6% to $130.72 a barrel, while U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude climbed $10.41 or 9% to $126.09. Monday's intraday highs are near record levels seen for both contracts in July 2008, when Brent hit $147.50 a barrel and WTI touched $147.27. Over the past week, the prices of crude oil rose after the United States and its allies sanctioned Russia over the invasion of Ukraine. Russia is the world's second largest oil producer and also the largest supplier of natural gas to Europe, providing about 35% of the supply there. And finally, on the foreign scene, French President Emmanuel Macron has accused his Russian counterpart Vladimir Putin of hypocrisy and moral cynicism after Moscow announced it would open humanitarian corridors from several Ukrainian cities, but only to Russia and Belarus. Moscow has announced a temporary ceasefire and a plan to evacuate Ukrainians from several cities. Meanwhile, delegations from Ukraine and Russia are set to hold a third round of talks. The UN has warned that Russia's invasion has triggered the fast-growing refugee crisis in Europe since World War III. We've come to the end of Trust News Update. Don't forget to follow us across all our social media platforms. I'm Darshan Husseina Usman. Thanks for watching.